pivot table is a very powerful tool for analytics in Excel. Let's use a simple example to illustrate how useful it is. I have here a bunch of data. Basically, they are about the sales for two items. One is called Azure and the other called Peach. And they are sold currently in 3 markets, Atlanta, Boston, and Chicago. And we have 3 months worth of data in January, February, and March. Now the questions are, what are the sales trends for the 2 products, and what can we say about the popularity of each in these 3 regions? Now just looking at the data, you can't really see much in terms of answering the question. But if you build a pivot table, it'll allow you to aggregate or slice the data the way you want in order to answer those questions. Now let's build our first pivot table. To do that, you simply go to Insert, Pivot Table, and Excel would guess from the sheet where is the data, and in here it guessed correctly. But if not, you can change that. And do you want the pivot table to be in a new worksheet or not? Here I say New Worksheet. Okay, so click OK. Now here's what you see. Well, not much of empty pivot table, and here are the fields. And those are the fields on the right are for you to build. First of all, let's just try things. Since we are to understand the sales trends for these items, why don't we just drag month to, let's say, row table. Now you can see that now we have 3 months of columns here. Now I want to understand the sales. That's the ultimate goal. So I just drag sales to this window here, value. Now by default, it tells me the summation of sales in each month. So you can see some data trends already. Now to drill down a little bit, how about by items? Because just look at the data, there's not much variation here. Let's look at items. Now where do we put item? How about we try column label, because it's empty here. Now you see what it does is basically put the items in each column, okay? And now something interesting is showing up here. Now if I could just basically do a visual conditional formatting, nothing fancy here, you can see that even though the sales of the 2 items are pretty stable over a month, actually for each product they are experiencing very different trends. For Azure, it is displaying an increasing trend, and for Peach, it's ever decreasing. So if you bundle these 2 together, you can look at aggregate. Things seems to be pretty stable, but in fact they are not. So now we basically answer the first question. Okay, so what else can we do? We click in the table. Notice that we haven't answered the question about regions. Are there any systematic differences in terms of which market they're in? Okay, so at this point you could try to put in column or rows. Let's try which one would help us understand better. Okay, so well, probably we should get rid of the conditional formatting first. So we clear rules from select cells. Now just eyeballing the data, we see there's a little bit of trend here. Okay, for Atlanta, so there's another way of building this. In order for us to see Atlanta for the 3 months, why don't we build region? We switch the region and month. Okay, so I just drag it. Now what you can see here are pretty interesting. Let's see Atlanta For Azure, it is ever increasing, and for Peach is decreasing. For Boston, Azure is selling better and better. For Peach, it seems to be weakening. For Chicago, the same trend applies, and for Peach, the same decreasing trend applies. So this seems to suggest across all markets, these two products are having the divergence in terms of sales trends. By doing this, it really allows us to do the deeper insights analysis that is not possible without pivot table.